Hi guys, Model Muppet here. How you doing? Having a look at the boss you'll come across in Second Son in the mission Heaven's Hellfire. He who dwells. And like like the boss in my previous video, this guy is a bastard to beat. He's a real pain in the arse. But once you beat him, you'll be as happy as a dog with a chocolate flavoured arsehole. Because at least when you beat this boss, you will get some new powers for it, which you didn't with the last boss that I showed. So that's all good. Now I've joined this here sort of halfway through because this took me a long time. In fact, I think it took me about 3/4 of an hour. If you're a better player than me, and most people are, you'll probably do it in less time than that. But there's there's times when it just seems so easy for this thing to beat you. That weapon he fires does have laser accuracy, and it seems to pick you out no matter where you are. So at this stage in the fight, we've got things to hide behind. But a lot of these platforms will disappear.
What I thought, it's lava.
Now, sometimes when you jump on those little platforms that are floating in the lava, they seem to sort of knock you off. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just I've got a dodgy controller or something, but there was a couple of times I had sort of control issues at that point. I'd be interested to hear any feedback. Anyway, once you get him down to about halfway, he's going to bring on supporting angels. And those angels will provide him with a shield, so you can't damage him at that point, and you have to destroy those angels. Now, you will find that these platforms have the neon energy for you to drain, and some have the smoke for you to drain. Now, if it's at all possible, I would say, you know, try and use the neon for when you're doing the angels, because you've got that ability to slow time down slightly when you're aiming in at them. It's not essential. There were sometimes I did it and sometimes I didn't. It just depends what you have available at the time. As in the previous boss, you're going to need to keep moving, and there's going to be plenty of times, like we're seeing on the screen right now, where you have very low health and you just got to keep on running. I think it's going to be a flavour of all the boss battles. I don't know how many boss battles there are actually. So you can see, you know, getting his health down, and he just brings more of these fleets of angels to protect him. Really is very difficult. Or it depends, I suppose, how you look at it. You could just think, you know, it's very challenging. Personally, what I'm finding in Second Son, and I think I was pretty much the same in Infamous, but I've got the worst memory in the world, is that I really enjoy the free roam. You know, I just enjoy messing around, going doing stuff, using my powers, you know, messing around with my abilities and whatnot. And the boss fights I do find quite a bit of a challenge, I'll be honest with you. So, you know, I am no expert, as any of my regular viewers know. Doesn't matter what game I'm playing, I am no expert. So I'd be interested to hear, you know, did you find these boss fights a challenge like I did? Or were you kind of just cool with it, and did you just like learn them from the get-go? I know when I've sort of covered other games, is that I've kind of made the assumption that I'm a bad player, and then other people will say, you know, I'm much worse than you. You know, it's just fair enough. You know, I've always sort of, you know, been of the opinion that, you know, games shouldn't just be for the top players. You know, everyone should be able to enjoy games. It doesn't matter if you're a good player or not. But yeah, so I'm just kind of interested to see how you got on with it. Now, you will end up at times going into the lava, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, try not to panic. It does damage you. You can't stay in there constantly, but it doesn't do you as much damage as his attacks will. You know, if your choice is get away from his attacks and maybe fall in the lava a little bit, you might, you know, that might be a sort of valid tactic, because I don't think they do as much damage as his attacks do. At this point, like, his health is really down low, but it just seems to be impossible for me to get to a point where I wasn't under so much fire that I could, you know, take his supporting angels out. And again, I'll be interested just to know what other people's sort of experiences have been with it. You can't shoot those through those wings, by the way, so yeah, if you're good at timing stuff, try and time those attacks so they're not on the wings. But what you will find at times is that when he gets you in the sights with that laser, you can't seem to get out of it. And you know, it does a shitload of damage, and it's the same when he does his sort of more explosive type of attacks. They'll kind of knock you flying a bit, disorientate you, and it really is a challenge staying alive. When you are in a position of being able to choose what ability you use, whether you're neon or you smoke, I'd say go with whichever one you think you're the most comfortable with as far as mobility goes. They both do pretty much the same amount of damage. The light attacks don't seem to do very much damage at all, and the heavy attacks do. And I think, I mean, personally, I find the smoke charged attack better to use for these sort of things, because there's no charge up time, you just fire. But with the neon, you actually do have to fire. Anyway, listen, I'm going to cut the video out now. I don't want to put any spoilers on for people who haven't completed this part of it yet about what happens next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it might have been useful for some of you guys. This is Muppet Out. Take it easy, guys. Ciao.